You know, being a wrestling fan is hard. Not because sometimes, it's hard to want to sit through 2 or 3 hours of a show knowing exactly what's going to happen, or at least having a good clue, despite the show being enjoyable. But it's also hard mainly because other fans make it hard for you. And the reason I bring this up is because of what happened on Wednesday night on the first on-the-road show for AEW Dynamite. You see, during the MJF Chris Jericho segment, mainly the entrance that Jericho made to his theme song Judas, which is a song by his band Fozzy, the signal suddenly went to black and went to a please stand by message. And when it came back on, the promo between Jericho and MJF was just beginning, or at least it was in the middle of it, according to a lot of people that were watching AEW Dynamite at the time when it was showing up live. It shows up a lot later, about a couple of hours later, here on the West Coast. But anyway, basically, the signal returned, in the middle or at the start of the promo between Jericho and MJF. And what happened was a fan decided, and this was caught on Twitter. This is all over social media, as a matter of fact. Twitter, Facebook, you name it. A fan decided to jump the barricade and get onto the ring apron. You know how they have like a ramp connected to the ring? Well, he decided to jump the barricade, jump the ring, and basically jump onto the ramp, if you will, get on the apron connecting the ramp to the ring, take off his t-shirt. All he had under that was a tank top and his shorts, and basically this is what he did. He takes his shirt off, revealing his tank top, and he's like this, like come on, fight me kind of deal, let's go. Like he wanted to fight. He was calling basically Jericho and MJF out. And fortunately, Jericho beat the crap out of this guy. He beat the crap out of him for doing something stupid. And I agree with Alex Hicks, just Alex, here on YouTube, that whatever you do as a fan, if you are stupid enough to say, hey, I'm going to jump the barricade and get in the ring and get my 10 seconds of fame, or 15 seconds of fame, then guess what? You get everything coming to you. Because these men and women are trained professionals. They are trained wrestlers and fighters, and they will beat the crap out of you. So if you decide to do that, you get everything that's coming to you. And this guy got everything that was coming to him, and he got dragged out literally by police. And Alex Hicks kind of jokingly commented afterwards when he talked about this was, well, fans are back. AEW is back on the road. Wrestling's back on the road. Fans are back. Well, here's the thing. This fan decided to comment on this and decided to reply this to Jim Cornette and Chris Jericho. Well, mostly to Jim Cornette. This is what this guy said. This is on his Twitter account. I'm looking at it right now. This is what the guy said 13 hours ago, and I quote, "At Jim Cornette and at great Brian Last," but mostly Jim Cornette. This is what the guy said 13 hours ago, and I quote, "How did you like my hashtag AEW debut? I did this for all of us real wrestling fans. Wrestling is no longer a safe place for friends to dance around and play dress up. Reality can hit at any time. Did they think it was going to be blanking playtime forever, or effing playtime forever?" So yeah, that's what he said. He said he did what he did for real wrestling fans and out there. Again, let me reread this. Let me reread what he says, and I quote. This is what the guy that jumped the barricade at Dynamite said, and I quote, "How did you like my hashtag AEW debut? I did this for all of us real wrestling fans. Wrestling is no longer a safe place for friends to dance around and play dress up. reality can hit at any time. Did they think it's going to be fucking playtime forever? And yeah, I did, that's the word he used. That's the effing word that he used, was fucking. Lord forgive me for saying that. But that's what he said. And he even tweets a connection. He even tweets the video of him jumping the barricade. Well, let's just say he got some responses. And I think Jim's is in here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, let's just say, yeah, some people are not too happy with him. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. This is it right here. This is Jim Cornette's response to the guy. So, again, the guy said what he did, right? Here's Jim Cornette's response, and I quote, "Got news for you, dipshit. The ring is sacred ground for us. And even if you and a lot of others think you can kick the shit out of the Young Bucks, I would have turned you into a tennis racket popsicle. And you're lucky someone there didn't gut you like a fish, and you're blocked." Basically, he blocked the guy on his Twitter. Now, here's the thing. This guy is just another example of fans just not realizing what they do when they do this as being dumb. And so yeah, it's just like, honestly, folks, if you're a wrestling fan and you attend these kind of events, honestly, do yourself a favor. In fact, do us all a favor and reconsider your actions. Even if somebody dares you to jump the barricade and get in the ring, don't do it. Just don't do it. And you know what? Jim Cornette's not the only guy to respond. Get this. Kevin Castle of Don Tony of that show. Yeah, here's what he says in reply to that guy. This is what Kevin Castle says in reply to what Jim Cornette said to the guy. And again, this is Kevin Castle from Kevin Castle and Don Tony. And I quote, "I could see a guy who calls himself FB, I'm not going to say the name, but calls himself FB, clearly suffers from a lack of creativity as well, and reality needs to hit him at this time, possibly in the face. This was an epic fail on all levels. What a blank bag." If you kind of get my drift. But you know what? He's not the only one that responded. So did Chris Jericho. In fact, let me see if I can find Jericho's response here. See if I can find Jericho's response. Okay, here it is. This is Jericho's response to the guy, and I quote. This is Chris Jericho. This is his response, and I quote. "Do you really think Jim Cornette would condone this, you effing loser? Jimmy would have shoved a tennis racket up your ass and smashed your car windows." So yeah, even Jericho's like, Jericho's even saying that Cornette, who's been very vocal about AEW at times, you know, and how he feels about it, even he basically says that Cornette would not agree with your actions. So, yeah. A lot of people are responding to this. Even, here's Justin Credible. You know, Justin Credible of ECW. Excuse me there. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Here's what Justin Credible of ECW fame, you know, with the one known for his "That's Incredible" pile driver finish. This is what Justin Credible said, and I quote. And this is his response to Jericho's tweet back to the guy that did this. And I quote. This is Justin Credible. "It's an absolute disgrace. Just because you don't like something does not mean you invade someone's space, especially in the work environment that is effing crazy. I don't know what world you guys live in, but that is just not cool. We are performers. It's a work. Get over it. So yeah, even Just Incredible's like, look, dude, I don't know what you're thinking. Why you guys take this so seriously? It's a work. It's a performance. Yeah, it's an athletic performance, but it's a performance. It's basically what Just Incredible is trying to say there. It's basically like if you go to a play, you go to one of those Broadway plays, it's a performance. You know that those men and women are performing. You know that, but you don't. So you don't have to take it seriously, right? It'd be like if somebody was taking that seriously and them jumping up on the stage trying to intervene, being like, no, no. This is not right. No. I'm here to save it. That would be stupid on their part because they'd be escorted off the damn stage and out of the building, probably banned from the building. Or, good example, I'm sure a lot of you are fans of the Golden Girls, or at least you have parents or family members that are fans of the Golden Girls. There's this episode where Rose takes this little play that they're doing for kids of Henrietta and the Wolves or something like that. Well, basically, Rose is trying to implore the kids to do what they can to save Henrietta from being eaten by the wolf, or something like that. It's kind of that an example of I know that's kind of a strange example, but that's kind of what that's kind of what's going on here. Like, Rose, even though she's a fictional character, she's taking what's going on with the Henrietta character from a fictional story for kids too seriously, like to the point that she's trying to implore them, hey, you could change it. You could save her instead of having her get killed. That's kind of what Just Incredible is trying to say about this guy here. That this is a performance. It's a work. It's an athletic work and performance, but it's a work athletically and a performance athletically, but you don't need to take it seriously. You don't. And that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of wrestling fans nowadays that do this. And here's the thing. This guy, like I said, this guy, he's not the first. And he's damn well not going to be the last. You know why he's not going to be the last? I'll tell you why. Because there's going to be more people that do this. There's going to be more people that when Impact gets going again on the road and all that with their shows, or even at Skyward Studios, they're going to try this. There's going to be fans that, eventually when all these other promotions, minor or whatever, get back on the road with crowds in front of them, they're going to try to do this. Heck, WWE has been known to, having people do this. I mean, you want to know some... I mean, here's the thing. You can go here on YouTube, and you can see a list. You can see a list, if you will, compilations of people jumping the barricade and getting in the ring. A good example, back in, 2002 or something like that, when, months after Eddie Guerrero got back to WWE or returned to WWE, what did you do? You had a fan jump the barricade. You had a fan jump the barricade, if you will, get in the ring, push the ladder down. Thankfully, Guerrero landed on his feet. I think it was Guerrero. But landed on his feet, and the fan, after he pushed it, went like this. Yay, 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 yay. See? I did it. Jumping on down, going like, yay, see, I did it. Or, there's other examples as well. Like, when Seth Rollins was coming down to the ramp one time with both the WWE and the U.S. championships over his shoulders, one fan decides to jump the barricade or walk from around the barricade right next to him, acting like, oh, see, I'm part of you now. Do. Or you had one fan, most famously, the camera is on Batista. They're getting ready to do an interview, but Batista's getting himself all ready, all psyched up. And then here you have this fan come into the middle of the shot. Thankfully, this wasn't in the ring, but still, it was like, where did this guy come from? And you have this fan going like this. It's like, what? It's like, what is going on with these people? It's like, what are they thinking? And now, And now you have this as the most recent example. You have this as the most recent example, if you will. And on top of this being the most recent example, you have this guy trying to come out and justify his actions like, I did it for the real wrestling fans. Because we don't need the flips and the kicks by the Bucks and Omega. We need real wrestling. We need headlocks. We need punches. We need all this. Da, 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 da. And it's like, dude, get over it. I've been a fan. Myself, people that I watch here on YouTube that talk about wrestling, like Alex, the Schleg Daddy, Sala Monster, Don Tony, Kevin Castle, Aaron Riff, No DQ. All these people that talk about wrestling, alright? All these people that talk about wrestling, I, like them, have been a fan for a long time, and I, like them, smartened up to the fact that this was a work. That this was a work. But the reason I enjoyed it, the reason I believed in it, if you will, was because I knew it was. And that's what made it more fun. Because I knew that certain people, let's say, that would go from good guy to bad guy, wouldn't remain a bad guy forever. Like when Hulk Hogan became a heel. Yeah, that upset me. That upset me and everything. But I knew eventually that wasn't going to last forever. And it didn't. It didn't last forever. And when he came back to WWE, the bad guy, I knew it wasn't going to last forever. And it didn't. When he went to TNA, and he and Bischoff, were revealed to be them, and they turned heel and became bad guys. I knew that wasn't going to last forever, and it didn't. Heck, when they turned Dixie Carter heel, I knew Dixie Carter wasn't going to remain a heel forever, and she didn't. The point is, we're fans because we know it's a work. We know it's a performance art. It's an athletic performance art. We know that. And that's what makes it enjoyable, because we know that, yes, we're going to get a resolution to something down the line. We may not like the direction it goes in sometimes, but we know eventually we're going to get that resolution. And we know somebody that's the bad guy is going to get the comeuppance, and that might lead to them trying to redeem themselves and becoming a heel, or becoming a babyface, a good guy. Or we know that when somebody that's supposed to be the good guy is starting to do more dastardly things, or show cracks in their minds, like they're starting to break, we know eventually it's only a matter of time before they go heel. And that happens. And then when it does, we either boo it or we cheer it, because, we know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. Most times we cheer it, and then we get conditioned to boo it because we're like, yay, we knew they were going to become a heel. We saw it coming, and they followed through on it. But then the next week, we're like, now we got to boo them because they're the bad guy. The same thing, like I said, when the bad guy goes down the road of redemption, becomes good, we know it's going to come. And when that payoff happens, we're like, yay! Now we can cheer them, and we have a legit reason. We enjoy it as fans, as real wrestling fans, believe it or not, because we know that, and it makes it enjoyable. We may not like the decisions that sometimes they make, because we feel that when somebody is over with the crowd, that's the person they should push and follow through with. We may not like the decisions they make of ignoring that or waiting a little bit longer to go through with it when they should be, striking when the skillet is hot, if you will. But still, that's what makes us fans, because we know it's going to happen. Maybe not when we believe it should, but we know eventually it's going to happen. And when it doesn't happen, yeah, we express our criticisms and anger. But when it eventually does, that's when we know it's going to be worth our wait. Or we're going to be like, now they're finally seeing through to it. Or they're finally seeing the mistakes. Like with Seth Rollins right now. With Seth Rollins. We know eventually he's going to go babyface, but they're waiting for the right time. And with him making fun of Roman tonight in a backstage interview before encountering Edge, that kind of shows you that, hey, we might get a good guy Seth down the line real soon. It's just he's got to go through certain obstacles first before he gets there. Same thing with Roman Reigns. We know eventually he's going to go good. But he's got to go through a few obstacles and steps before he gets there as well. But that's what makes us real wrestling fans, because we know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it happens, and when it happens, and where, and when that trigger is pulled. But being a real wrestling fan doesn't mean you jump the damn barricade. It doesn't. It doesn't mean you get up on the ring apron, pull your shirt off, and go and try to be like, hey, what's up? Come on, let me fight you. Let me do this. It don't mean that. A real wrestling fan has respect, if you will, for the performers, knowing what they're doing. And if you're taking this way too seriously, then maybe a company like AEW isn't for you. Maybe today's wrestling is not for you. And yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like how some of the performers of today's wrestling go out there and wrestle. But guess what? That's the way they're trained to, and they know that there is a niche audience out there right now that enjoys that. That's why they do it. And eventually, over time, those performers will evolve and realize, hey, we can't be doing this anymore because we're getting older, and that niche audience is getting older or now starting to enjoy something else. That's what a real, those wrestlers know that. And as a real wrestling fan basically realizes that as well. So in the end, I don't know what this guy was thinking. I am glad a lot of people, not just those in the business, but a lot of other fans are calling him out on his BS. Because that was stupid. You don't speak, here's the thing, you don't do something like that, come out on social media and basically say you're speaking for all of the real wrestling fans. Because there's a lot of real wrestling fans that'll be like, yeah, you're full of you know what. Because you don't speak for me, and I don't speak for you. So, hopefully this guy doesn't do this again. Hopefully his family takes him aside and makes him realize, yeah, this is not real. This is not as real as you think it is. Okay? This is not as real as as you think it is. And these men and women, they could legitimately hurt you, if not worse. So, I don't know what this guy is thinking. I don't know what any wrestling fans that do this are thinking. I mean, what are you trying to do? What is the proof? What are you trying to prove? That you know it's... I mean, what, some of you trying to prove that you know it's fake? And because you believe it's so fake, you'd be like, yeah, I can beat up on this guy. Boom, 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 boom. And the next thing you know, you're knocked out. Is that what you think? Is that what your mindset is? Did you think, oh, I know it's fake, so I'm going to go prove it's fake. I'm going to go beat up on this superstar. Do. And the next thing you know, you lose like your whole set of teeth. Or you have two black eyes that, basically don't get normalized until like a month or two later. Is that what is that what you think? Because guess what? Like this guy said about what he did, reality will hit you right in the face. And that reality will be from the fist or the foot of a wrestler that's near 300 or 400 pounds. Or a wrestler that used to be an MMA fighter that could basically choke the hell out of you. Look, I implore any wrestling fans that are going to go to any future AEW events, okay, or any future WWE events, Impact, MLW, AAA, New Japan, PWG, GCW, I implore you, don't do what this guy did. This is dumb. This was dumb, and it is dumb for any fans to think this. And I can tell you honestly, you do this at GCW, you try to do this at GCW like before a Nick Gage death match, and Nick Gage is the kind of guy that will basically slice you up. Okay? So I implore you, don't do this. It's dumb. You are risking your health, and you're risking your chance at attending wrestling in the future. So don't do it. That's all I'm asking. Don't do it. But that's all I'm going to say on it, guys. I'm just going to say this in closing. This guy, I hope his family talked to him. I hope somebody took him aside and made him realize this is a work. Don't take it seriously, because if you do, it's going to get you hurt. Or it's going to get you behind bars. So, again, I implore anybody else that's watching this that's a wrestling fan, don't do that. Heck, I implore anybody that's a fan of any sport to don't do that, because we have seen people do this, you know, not just with wrestling, but with basketball. We've seen them do it with football, baseball. Thankfully, they haven't done it with hockey yet. But I think they've even done it with soccer too. But I implore you, no matter what the sport, or no matter what the sport, whether it's sports entertainment, athleticism like AEW and WWE, or it's a legit sport like football, baseball, basketball, soccer, I implore you, don't do this crap. Because it's not going to end well for you, whether it's physically or not. It's not going to end well for you, because you know what? You may not be able to attend any events, live events anymore. You do this. So honestly, don't. Just don't do it, and just leave whatever your thoughts are. Leave whatever plans you have of trying to do it. Leave that at home, and that's it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. It's dumb. And that's all I'm going to say. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. But anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What I'm trying to say. I'm so flabbergasted just talking about this. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Like the video, and I'm out.